Welcome to this presentation on the Common Core standards and how it will impact McPherson USD 418. The purpose of this presentation is to give you an overview of the Common Core standards, how they will be implemented and applied in the classroom, and the advantages and disadvantages of the Common Core standards. The ISLIC standards at the bottom are the standards that administrators adhere to promote the success of all students. And I have displayed how the 6 standards apply to the Common Core standards. Number 1, the Common Core standards display a shared vision for the school district, not only the school district, but for the state and throughout the whole country. Number 2, it promotes a system of student learning and staff development, and also encourages staff collaboration. Number 4, responds to diverse community interests and needs through the research that's been done to create these Common Core standards. The research has been extensive throughout the country and the world for the best common practices and the best standards used, so therefore responds to the diverse community interests and needs. Number 6, once these are implemented, it will influence the larger political, social, economical, legal, and cultural context. Before I give you an overview of the Common Core standards, I'd like to share with you a video of former Governor of Colorado and former Superintendent of Schools in Los Angeles, Roy Romer, on his take of how the Common Core standards will be useful for parents.
I'm Roy Romer, former Governor of Colorado, former Superintendent of Los Angeles Schools. I want to tell you what a wonderful new set of tools these standards and the assessments, the tests that go with them will be for parents. Let's take an average family, parents who have a 4th grader. You know, if that youngster is ill with a cold in the chest, they'll take them to a doc and get an x-ray, and they want 3 answers. 1, what is the standard of health for my child? 2, what does this chest look like? And 3, what do we need to do to make them healthy? Now let's take it to education. Parents need the same thing in math for that 4th grader. They need to know what is a true standard worldwide that is educational health for my child. Secondly, they want a test periodically that says this is where your child is and this is the gap that we need to close. Third, that parent wants to know what can I do as a family, what can we do as a family with the school to help close that gap. This new set of standards and the tests that go with them will give a wonderful set of tools for parents to do what's most important for them, and that is to give their child the knowledge and skills to be successful in the life they're about to live.
Before I go on to share some characteristics of the Common Core standards, let me give you a brief history about how they are developed and who they are developed by. The National Governors Association and the Council of Chief State School Officers were the governing groups behind the development of Common Core standards. These are currently being adopted by several states, including Kansas, in October of 2010. The reason they are being adopted by so many states is because of the characteristics on this slide. First, they align with post-secondary schools and work expectations. They're clear, comprehensible, and consistent. They contain rigorous content, and not only content but application of that content and real-world applications. It's research-based, research throughout state standards, throughout the country and throughout the world. They're built from current state standards like I just mentioned, and they're constructed from top-performing countries to meet the needs in our global economy and society. This next slide shows the implications for instruction. At this time, the Common Core standards go in detail only in the subject of English language arts and mathematics. However, they do include literacy in history, science, and technical studies. At our school, we have a relatively large number of students with learning disabilities, so we will have to continue administrating and creating individual education plans for those students like we have in the past. We also have a smaller group of students that are ESL students, that stands for English as a Second Language, and we will have to make adaptations to accommodate these students as well. On a different topic, our school has already begun aligning our curriculum with the ACT standards. At the same time, the state of Kansas was adopting the Common Core standards. Our school was granted a waiver from the United States Department of Education to forego the state assessments test this past year to pursue our new initiative we call C-Cubed, which stands for Citizenship, College, and Career Readiness. As a part of this new initiative, in the fall of 2010, we gave the ACT test to all seniors at free of charge. We also gave all students the Work Keys test to test their work skills. At this point, we are not sure what will happen since the state of Kansas has adopted the Common Core standards. At the same time, we have adopted the ACT standards. This next slide shows the advantages of the Common Core standards. The first one says research-based. We've elaborated how the National Governors Association and the Council of Chief State School Officers has done extensive research, not only in this country but worldwide, to come up with these Common Core standards. Another advantage is that they have clear expectations for teachers and the students. And they have goals for every grade level, K through 12. It also encourages collaboration among teachers, increases the rigor, and encourages publishers to use one set of standards for their textbooks. The disadvantages of the Common Core standards is the cost to adopt the new textbooks that align with the Common Core standards that we just got done mentioning. It also does not outline how teachers should teach the standards. It will require a lot of time to implement and align these new standards, as would any new standards. And the only two subject areas that are highlighted is English and math at this point, although there is literacy in social studies, science, and technical studies. In conclusion, what does this mean for you? Well, if you're a student, that means there's a level playing field. What I mean by that is everyone across the country will have the same set of standards. So if you're competing for scholarships from students from Maryland and California, you all will be on the level playing field for that scholarship. Also, the standards are application and skills based rather than content based, and they're more rigorous. Parents, expectations of your children are very clear and outlined in the standards. Tests check to see if mastery is achieved, and if mastery is not met, then a plan will be put in place to meet those expectations. Teachers will be given clear and consistent goals from these standards. What's a nice thing is new textbooks are already aligned to the Common Core standards, and application of content is tested. This final slide shows my references I used for this presentation. First website I used a lot for the standards themselves and information about the standards, www.corestandards.org. The next website I used was from the Department of Education in Maine, which has already implemented the Common Core standards. And finally is the ISLIC standards for administrators. Thank you for watching this presentation.